test. Yeah, I want to fix up things. Yo, what's up, guys? Where am I? There I am. Ooh, we're back. Happy Monday. Yeah, Brasileiros, man. All I can say is all the matches look good to me. All the matches were good. We're just going to look at some clips right now, and then as more people come in, we'll go over the results. So I think we got Mayasa over here. Maisa. Shout out to her. Oh, this was a good match. I kind of knew Margot was going to have a tough time with this girl. I knew Margot was gonna have a tough time. And look at that stadium, bro. It's packed. That stadium was packed. So just looking over some of the videos real fast. Look at that stadium, man. Stadium was packed. We'll talk about this match a little bit later. Super pesado. Of course, your guys' favorite over here. Jansen, we knew Jansen was going to win. Oh, that was the finals? Bobby Vedarasi. Shout out to him. He's from Portugal and Brazil. I guess Brazilian, Portuguese. That was a good match, man. Maybe we can find that match. Gabriel. Rzinski, you guys know Rzinski. Rzinski. Was he the oldest guy out there? I think he was the oldest guy. Eric Muniz.
Brasileiro 2025, faixa preta, absoluto, Eric Muniz, da Academia Soldiers.
Eric is good, but I still don't think he can beat Nicholas Morgali. Of course,
open up the door, can you?
Can't play that music. So that was a big. I think that was the biggest match of the weekend. Legends don't break. Double crown. Did we have some of the matches? Shout out to Hillary and Nelson. They're on BJ Mental Models, one of our sponsors. And their episode is on growing your academy. So if you want to grow your academy, go check out the podcast, guys. I believe it's on YouTube as well as their on their app. This week we're joined by the founders of Inverted Gear, Hillary Witt and Nelson. 3 years ago, Hillary and Nelson took the Inverted Gear brand beyond jiu-jitsu equipment and opened a physical academy in Pennsylvania. Shout out to PA. In this episode, Hillary and Nelson share key lessons learned from their journey into academy ownership. So yeah, check them out, guys. Here's some of the clips of the matches. This was one with was that Elijah Dorsey? I don't know what happened to the sound, but that was a fire match. So I'm gonna wait till they post it on their YouTube channel, then I'll cover it. Because yeah, I'm definitely not gonna go into Flow Grappling and steal their content like that. So when they post it on their YouTube channel, and man, look at that! I haven't seen Titan scramble like that in a long time. Look at Titan. Yo, big breakfast going for these guys, man. Big breakfast was moving, and Elijah Dorsey attacking. I don't know if that was the best attack right there. He kind of gave up a sweep, but I think he was able to pop back up. Yo, big breakfast. Oh, nice, almost mount, kinda forced. When's the last time you saw Tynan forced into the half guard, guys? I don't know. It was looking rough though, and he's defending an armbar. Kimura. Yo, Tynan. Oh man, they coming for Tynan. Pause on that. And that was I'm not gonna say it was close, but man, that was you're not used to seeing Tynan fight like that, huh? I feel like Mika might still be able to take Tynan, guys. I don't know. I think Mika could take him. We kind of saw this a little bit. We got some sound. Where's the sound at? So again, we'll watch these matches when they post them eventually. The issue is they'll post it like right before Worlds, which is in June. So yeah, upset of the year. That was a big match. Considering Gabby had a 200 match winning streak. Can you guys imagine that? That's like Pans and Worlds, Brasileiros, everything. 200 match win streak. Basically her whole black belt career. I don't think she's lost. And shout out to Elizabeth Clay. I believe she became the 5th American to win Brasileiros at the adult level. So shout out to her. That was a big achievement. She had a tough match against Helena a couple weeks ago, but man, look at her winning Brasileiros. Nice little sweep there, coming up for 2. Nice. And then another historical event, we had 2 Americans in the finals for the featherweight division. You had Isaac versus Cole, which will be another great match we can react to. But shout out to both athletes; they did a great job. So I'll just kind of read. We got BJJ Heroes over here. We're gonna read their post, go through all the weight classes, update you guys. Again, I'm gonna wait for them to post on their YouTube channel so I can actually watch the matches. There's a lot of great ones. May 5th, 2025, Sao Paulo, Brazil. This is the date and location set for the final day of Brasileiros, the biggest jiu-jitsu tournament in South America, also known as the Brazilian Nationals. This event is organized by the CBJJJ, which is, it's kind of like the sister to the IBJJF. As per usual, this is a massive event that featured nearly 8,000 athletes. Oh, I thought it was 3,000 athletes. They're saying 8,000 athletes. 7,966 to be precise, when accounting for juvenile, adult, and masters competitors from all belts. That's amazing. So the biggest match was Tanya, I never say her name right, Peripherio versus Gabrielli. I thought it was 200 win streak, but it was a 166 match win streak. Arguably the biggest winner of the weekend was Tayane Peripherio. I never say her name right. Sorry, guys. Sorry, my Brazilians. The former world champion was able to achieve what no other had been able to do for the past 4 years: beat the queen of women's grappling, Gabrielli. Tayane was able to score early and managed the clock, adding 2 more points off a takedown midway through the match. Gabrielli threw the kitchen sink at Peripherio, but could not break through the defense of the Rio de Janeiro native, with the final score ending in 4-2 for Tayane. This win broke Gabrielli's 166 match win streak, a historic moment in the sport. We also had history, so that was historic. That girl ain't really lost, really. In 4 years, she didn't lose for 4 years. And then for Team USA, it says the Brasileiros ended with the first All-American featherweight final, a match between the face of the new generation of USA grappling, Cole Abate, and one of North American grappling's pioneers, Isaac Doderline, who was the third ever jiu-jitsu black belt from the U.S. to conquer a Brazilian national. I believe the other ones were, who were the other ones? I think it was Mason Fowler. And who was the other American? Does anybody know? I can't remember. I don't think it was Lovato. Who was the first American? Yeah, I don't remember. I will have to look that up. Both athletes reached the final with conservative performances. Conservative? They did pretty well. It's hard to win against some of the best Brazil had to offer, particularly Doderline, who didn't win a match with a margin wider than one advantage. It's tough. He had tough matches. Although strategic, this will be a weekend to remember for BJJ and an important step in the direction of a sport that is less monopolized by one single nation. Pretty monopolized to me. The featherweight duo wasn't alone in this historic moment for American Jiu-Jitsu, as others performed beautifully for the Stars and Stripes team with outstanding and, dare we say, more fan-friendly performances. Those were the cases of berserkers like Elizabeth Clay and Elijah Dorsey and Nolan Stewart. So we had a team of Americans. We're probably going to see more Americans down there. 2 of whom, Dorsey and Stewart, are trained by American coaches from their white belt stages, a testament to how much the sport has grown north of the border. Elijah and Stewart had some of the most impressive matches the whole tournament, always pushing the pace in search of the submission, which they did earn multiple occasions. It was an absolute pleasure to watch these two compete this weekend. Wardzinski was the first Polish to win Brasileiros, and I believe the second European, behind Alexander Trans, I believe. The butterfly guard wizard Adam Wardzinski keeps on his path of destruction, beating records despite already being a Masters eligible competitor. After celebrating his first world title last year, Adam realized yet another unprecedented win, this time at the Brazilian Nationals, Brasileiros. He has now won a gold medal in every IBJJF Grand Slam tournament, as well as the AJP World Pro, being the first male European athlete to achieve this feat at the pro level. Honorable mentions, really, everybody was good, bro. Of course, we're not focusing on the Brazilians too much. They bring up athletes like Marcus Scooby, Jansen Gomez, Wardzinski, Diego Pato, Kleber, Souza, Tynan, Jefferson, Servio, Brienne St. Marie. I think she's Canadian. Shout out to was it Davi Valente? I can't say his last name. The Portuguese guy. He did good. He had a good match. Good matches. He beat a lot of guys I was like, I didn't think he would beat, but he was out there. So just going over the weight classes real fast. We're not going to go over the matches. 57 kilograms. Roosterweight, you had Rodrigo Octavio. Light feather, you had Diego Pato. Featherweight, you had Cole Abate. 76. Lightweight, you had Lucas McKean. Middleweight, you had Tynan. Middle heavy, you had Jansen. Heavyweight, you had Wierzinski. Super heavy, you had Eric Munez. And then ultra heavy, you had Marcus Scooby. So I think AOJ kind of stole the show there. You had Checkmat. Alliance had one dude. Frates had one guy. Vision. For the ladies, at 48 kilograms, you had Misa, AOJ. 53, you had Brenda Larissa. Actually, I thought she was with a different team. 58, you had Cassia Mora. Jaina at 63. 69, you had Elizabeth Clay. 74, you had Maka. Vincentini. At 79, you had Yara Soares. 79 plus, you had Taini. And then open weight, you had Gabrielli. And, of course, open weight males was Eric Munez. So, good matches, man. We're not going to go through every single match. But hopefully they'll post, when they post the matches, I'll try to go over them. But they kind of will stagger it. So, before World Championships, they'll start posting that stuff. Yeah, it's kind of rough. Some other news. We'll try to cover more news today. Was that the story I wanted to cover? So this kind of happened earlier this year. I didn't talk about it. I meant to. It says USA Wrestling announces a multi-year partnership with Rudis. So Rudis is one of my favorite companies right now. I got the shoes, got the socks. I need some more gear. Yeah, when Inverted Gear makes me some shoes, some workout shoes, I'll wear them. They got the one shoes. Can I find the shoes? I'll look for the shoes later, guys, but they got the one shoe, the Chilean shoe. USA Wrestling, the national governing body for wrestling in the United States, has announced a multi-year partnership with Rudis starting 1st of January 2025, so this year. USA Wrestling and Rudis are joining forces to elevate wrestling to new heights during the next 4-year Olympic quadrennium. What does that mean? Culminating in the greatest celebration of our sport at the Olympic Games, Los Angeles 2028. The combined promotional powers of USA Wrestling and Rudis will showcase the world's greatest sport and celebrate wrestling's amazing athletes during a time of great opportunity. I hope we got people that can win the win the Olympics in wrestling and judo by 2028. Rudis is now the exclusive official licensee and supplier to USA Wrestling of merchandising servicing in the categories of footwear, apparel, and accessories. Rudis will also supply all official USA Wrestling uniforms, custom team gear, and clothing, footwear, and accessories. So they're going to be designing the USA Wrestling uniforms. That's cool. They got some good stuff. I'm all for Inverted Gear, but Rudis got some good stuff too. We stand at the precipice of the golden age of our sport, maybe the most significant 4-year cycle in wrestling's history. Rudis and USA Wrestling are aligned to take the greatest sport to new and incredible heights, said Rich Bender, USA Wrestling Executive Director. USA Wrestling is excited to partner with Rudis, a visionary leader in the wrestling community. Together, we look forward to serving USA Wrestling members and the entire wrestling community as we continue our efforts to raise the bar for our sport at all levels, said Bruce Baumgartner, USA Wrestling president. He's also a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, I believe, in wrestling. I think he's the only one in USA history. We got a ton of 1-time gold medalists, but we don't have a 2-time yet that we know of. Rudis has established itself as a leader within the wrestling community and is committed to invest its resources and passion into building this new relationship. So the good thing about Rudis is that they create cool gear. They're kind of like, it's like trendy. It's not trendy, but it's good. It's like good quality and it looks good. It's not like bare bones like, some of the other brands. They actually put time and effort into their designs, and it looks like stuff you want to wear. That's the most important thing. Feels good, good quality, and looks like something you want to wear. In my decades around the sport, I've never seen a partnership with greater potential to elevate wrestling, said Nancy Schultz, Rudis partner and global wrestling advocate. With USA Wrestling and Rudis united, we have the strength, passion, and purpose to push the sport forward for generations to come. This moment is a profound honor and privilege for all of us at Rudis, said Jesse Ling, co-founder and CEO of Rudis. I didn't know that was the CEO. It calls us to be our best. Just as in wrestling, we must evolve every day to bring the best versions of ourselves in service of the community and the sport we love deeply and are so grateful to serve. I wish jiu-jitsu was like this. Look at them talking about community and, they love the sport and they want to serve their community. What jiu-jitsu brand? Maybe Inverted Gear. Inverted Gear, we can learn a lot from them. Serving the needs of athletes at all levels is a central focus of both USA Wrestling and Rudis as it moves forward together. Rudis and USA Wrestling were designed to be partners. This is a historic event. Historic event in American wrestling history. I'm so excited for the future, said Kyle Snyder, who's an Olympic champion and Team Rudis athlete. Rudis has always supported athletes like me, and this partnership is a step toward even greater possibilities for women's wrestling, said Sarah Hildebrandt. She's also Olympic gold medalist. Team Rudis athlete. Official USA Wrestling footwear, apparel, and accessories will be available online at Rudis.com and at USA Wrestling national and regional events moving forward. Over the next few months, USA Wrestling and Rudis will share the story of how this partnership will benefit wrestling with the launch of many exciting new initiatives. So hopefully this money goes towards the athletes, they get a cut of some of this stuff. USA Wrestling and Rudis stand poised to shape the next chapter of the sport we all love, a chapter that pays tribute to wrestling's storied history while pushing its boundaries to new heights. So another thing I really like about Rudis is that they kind of celebrate those champions from the past, and they support the champions of the past, and they uplift the champions of now. So think about that, my brands out there. In jiu-jitsu, we quick to forget about the past. Yeah, we forget about the past by the next day. We already forgot who won Brasileiros right after I talked about it. We kind of early today, guys. I just wanted to get this out the way. And if anybody wants to join us later, that's fine. A little different schedule this week. So this is kind of jumping on that Rudis post from earlier, or just a second ago. It says, strong blow for Nike as $71 billion smaller company earns support following latest announcement. New year, new challenges, right? And for Nike, this is one of the biggest. Remember in 2018 when Nike and United World Wrestling, UWW, shout out to the UWW. They've hit me with a couple copyright strikes over the years. Shout out to UWW, bro. They don't play. Bro. They're going to hit you. They made the powerhouse move. So Nike and UWW, which is it's like USA Grappling, but for the world of wrestling, like international. They signed a 4-year deal that had Nike everywhere, be it at UWW events and all the marketing, and even getting exclusive rights to create and sell UWW branded gear. They were riding high with the Athlete Performance Solutions, APS, helping spread their reach across wrestling, boxing, weightlifting, and more. It seemed like Nike was untouchable in the wrestling world, but for how long? Fast forward to 2024, and the scene has changed. Heading into 2025, USA Wrestling has flipped the script, and Nike, well, they've just taken a pretty serious loss. What once felt like a match made in wrestling heaven is now in turmoil. The grip Nike had on the sport is slipping, and the future is anything but clear. So what happened? Well, it seems USA Wrestling chose a Marysville-based wrestling apparel company. I think that's in Ohio somewhere. Does anybody know where Marysville is? It's somewhere in the Midwest, Ohio or somewhere like that. They chose that company over Nike. The titan of sportswear got outshined by a smaller hometown brand, and guess what? The wrestling community is shocked. On January 1st, 2024, USA Wrestling made a huge announcement. Starting January 1st, 2025, they'd be partnering with Rudis for a multi-year deal that's set to take wrestling to new heights. This partnership is all about the next Olympic quadrennium, which is coming up apparently, culminating in the biggest celebration of wrestling at the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. Rudis is now the exclusive official licensee and supplier for USA Wrestling. So I mean, does Nike care about wrestling guys? No, they don't care. But Rudis actually is in the sport. You know, they've been sponsoring a lot of the athletes. I will say Nike is sponsoring. Can I go back? They are sponsoring a meet Allure. So, I don't know what their deal is, but she's definitely sponsored by them. Where's the news at? Where is it? You guys know Amit because that's Mika Gaval's girlfriend. Is that her? That's an old one. Where's her most recent post at? She's kind of I don't know how to describe her. I mean that's her. I don't know what else to say. That's all I can say. So yeah, she just got a sponsorship by Nike, so I'm not sure what that entails. I think we covered this before. It says from prodigy to podium, just getting started. So that's her rocking the Nike gear. She was sponsored by Rudis, but I guess she switched over to Nike. I'm not quite sure when that happened, but yeah. Oh, liked it. Okay, that's fine. If you guys just joining us, we talked about some of the. I got no access to any of the matches. The only match I got is Rosinski, but we'll watch that later. So we talked about some of the results that came out. There they are. Got all the winners right there. And then when they post the videos to YouTube, I'll start covering them. I just don't like pulling up my Flow Grappling account, letting you guys mooch off me. So let's hit some news. We got Seth Daniels. He talks about the aftermath of Craig Jones' threats incident. It cost me my job. Seth Daniels, you guys know Seth Daniels. He's behind Fight to Win, and he was the production manager for ADCC. He says he opens up about his feud with Craig Jones, a conflict that became one of the most public rifts in recent grappling history. He says, well, I can't read a lot of what he says. He says, I acted crazy last year. I was just messed up and pissed off and out of my mind. The only thing I kill is like a box of donuts and a pack of monsters. I can't even fight. I can't even throw a punch. The conflict began when Jones and several athletes publicly split from ADCC to launch the rival CJI. So if you don't know the history of CJI, it kind of stemmed behind athlete pay. So ADCC wasn't paying, and I guess they didn't want to negotiate. So that's what made Craig Jones start CJI. So this could have all been avoided if ADCC had opened up their wallet a little bit, but they ended up creating their worst nightmare. A move that triggered intense emotions, and in Daniel's case, regrettable messages that Jones eventually made public. Despite the drama, Daniel says time has mellowed things between them. He told me like everything's water under the bridge, like we're cool. We'll never be friends or anything, but he's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. Daniel shared that he reached out again recently after speaking about Jones in another interview, this time to give credit where it's due. I messaged him and I was like, hey man, I said some stuff about your event on this podcast. I wasn't talking bad about it. I was just giving you props for what you did and all the money you gave away. The incident, Daniels claims, came as a steep personal cost. It cost me my job and all my finances. Wow. So I don't know the full story of what they're talking about. I will say that, you know, a lot of the issues Craig Jones had with did they have the messages? A lot of the issues that Craig Jones had with okay. Well, I'm looking at that. We just clicked on the link. But a lot of the issues that Craig Jones had with ADCC was that they were spending so much on the production of the show that they were kind of neglecting the athletes. So that was a big issue. So I'm not defending anybody. I'm just reading. Okay, so ADCC organizer sends death threats to CJI Craig Jones. Okay, so I can see how Craig Jones might not like that. He's sending death threats. We'll just click on this link. I don't remember the actual issues, but we're gonna we'll go through the story again. And will this play? Where's the sound at? I can't hear the sound. Can you guys hear the sound? It says, you need to realize I'm not Mo. You have attacked my work and slandered me all over everything I've done the past 5 years. If you attack me, my family, or my wife, like your friends are doing to Mo, I will end you. I will fight you. I'm not saying this lightly. I'm telling you, I will end your. Okay, that might not have been the best thing to do. I can see how Craig Jones might not like you after that. Where's the audio at? Instagram doesn't save the audio? Yeah, I don't hear the audio, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with that. So that was not the best post. It's hard to defend that. So let's read the story real quick just to, all this stuff happened last year. That was kind of quick. The exodus to CJI. The controversy has led to a significant number of ADCC athletes opting to compete at CJI instead. The appeal is undeniable. CJI offers a guaranteed $10,000 and a staggering $1 million prize money. Wait, they got $10,000. Did they get $10,000 to show? I thought they got less than that. Wait a second. They got $10,000? That was awesome. And a staggering $1 million in prize money. Jones has been vocal about his concerns regarding the stagnant growth of prize money in the sport. Despite its rising popularity, in a recent discussion with the Mac Life, Jones highlighted how inflation has eroded the real value of prize money. Well, technically, due to the inflation, the ADCC prize money is diminished. $10,000 is worth less today. I don't want to rub it in that bad, but I think I will. So I believe the ADCC has kept the same prize money. Can we look that up real fast? Let's see, ADCC prize in 2000. Let's say 2001. I know it was around 2001. It says in 2001, the ADCC Submission Fighting World Championship. Why did they use that name? ADCC prize for the top ranked male competitor was $10,000 in 2001, guys. Which Hoyler Gracie in 2001? Hoyler Gracie won that one. I guess 2003 is when your boy Eddie Bravo got him. So what is $10,000? What's up, Quan? Quan says, as long as Seth sees the results of his actions as a learning opportunity, he'll hopefully be better because of it. I mean, he said sent some death threats, so I don't know, bro. Dang. I just clicked on this, guys. I don't know if it's accurate, but it says $10,000 in 2001 was equivalent to the purchasing power to $18,000 today. Wow. Yo. So, ADCC kept the $10,000 for basically 25 years, 24 years. But that money, they would need to be paying like $20,000 to the winners, which I don't think they were doing. Were they? What's the ADCC prize now? Let's look that up. So, yeah, that inflation got us. $2024 prize was top 4 finishers in men's weight class received still $10,000. The only difference is you get money for second and third place now. Wow. So yeah, that $10,000 was not really going too far. Let's continue reading what we had. Was that the post? So $10,000 wasn't enough, so that was one reason. economic disparity, and unionization. Jones drew parallels between the grappling world and the broader economic trends, likening the situation to corporate America, where the disparity between work and compensation continues to grow. He cited dynamic pricing by companies like Wendy's as an example and made a pointed comment. Wendy's deserves it. Flow grappling doesn't. I don't think us athletes do either. The idea of unionizing to advocate for better prize money and overall compensation for athletes was suggested. However, Jones humorously noted the potential hurdles. The average grappler couldn't spell union, which is true. Jones' comments underscore the need for more substantial financial incentives for competitors, especially in prestigious tournaments like ADCC, where athletes compete solely for prize money without any appearance fees. Seth Daniels' response. Yeah, I can't really defend Seth Daniels on that one. It was not the best response, which he apologized for. Seth Daniels, who organized the last ADCC Worlds under Mo, responded to Jones's statements with a detailed post revealing the financial realities and costs of organizing such an event. Well, I mean, we know that Craig Jones did his own thing and did it bigger, right? So, I mean, it's kind of a mute point. Enjoyed this post before Mo makes me take it down. I've been quiet on social media for a long time, but I'm sick of this. In 2022, the prize money for ADCC official was $300,000, $330,600. I mean, that ain't nothing compared to the $1 million. Venue cost was $662,000. Why was it so expensive? Production costs $413,000. Yeah, that was the issue. We were like, why does the venue and the production and all this stuff cost so much? They had the $1 million right there, guys. The $1 million. Yo, ADCC could have stopped all of this from happening, man. Could have done a smaller venue and, cut the production costs. We don't care about the production. I want to see the fights. You think Brasileiros had production? Where was the production at Brasileiros, guys? It was just mats. That's all we need is mats. We want to see the fighters. We want to see the grapplers out there. Let's see. And over $500,000 flying in over 105 athletes from all around the world, putting them up at the MGM Grand for 4 days, feeding and transporting them, not to mention flying in all the judges and referees. Again, nobody asked for the MGM Grand. Yeah, you didn't have to do all that. You could have picked cheaper place, cheaper venue, cut that production cost by like, I don't know, 75%. Cut the venue cost by the pyramid where they do the world championships? Where is that at? What is that called? The Walter Pyramid? So, the Walter Pyramid, guys, the place where they do world championships at, that blue pyramid there. It's let's read. We got the AI. I'm not saying AI is completely accurate. Oh, but they got the facility rentals at Long Beach State. Walter Pyramid. All right, here's the Walter Pyramid. You can see how much it costs to rent this place. Oh, maybe you gotta click some stuff. Will it let me know? All right, let's go back. Let's just trust the AI on this one, guys. It says the Walter Pyramid at California State University, Long Beach, is a multi-purpose sports arena, and its rental costs vary. For internal users, its half-day rental is 4 hours and costs $500, while a full-day rental 8 hours costs $1,000. External users pay $750 for a half-day and $1,500 for a full day. All right, guys, $1,500 to rent this pyramid per day. What? How long was that? Let's say 4 days. What is that? $6,000? What was their budget earlier? What was the budget earlier, guys? Let's come over here. ADCC's over here spending on the venue alone cost $600,000, almost $700,000. Say $10,000. They could have had 4 days 3 or 4 days at the Walter Pyramid. Put you up at the motel. Put you up at the motel. You know, beach jiu-jitsu guys don't care. Put us up at the motel. We got a pool there. Get a little shuttle. You know, put us on the shuttle. Take us over to the venue. We good. In fact, they use that. Listen. Where's my search bar at? Okay, Walter Pyramid. We got that. All right. ADCC 2005. Where was ADCC 2005, guys? It was inside the Walter Pyramid. You guys know the Walter Pyramid? You see the yellow stuff? The yellow seating? That's the Walter Pyramid, guys. That's the Walter Pyramid right there. You telling me they couldn't just do it at the Walter Pyramid? Save the $750,000 at the Walter Pyramid? Yo, that's insane, bro. You don't need all that stuff. Look, California State University, 1250 Bellflower Boulevard, Long Beach, California. That's the Walter Pyramid, guys. Let me come back over here. Where's the address? I know that because I've been there a million times. 125 North Bellflower Boulevard, Long Beach, California. You see the yellow bleachers? That's Long Beach. That's the Walter Pyramid. Man, they could. You think you need production over there? No, just put the mats over there, bro. We good. Put all that money towards the athletes. They could have put $1 million toward the athletes. Put us at the local Econo Inn or motel. We would have been okay. They got breakfast. They got breakfast over there. We didn't need to stay at the MGM Grand. They don't need to stay at the MGM Grand. You know, they could have saved all that money and paid it to the athletes. Okay, maybe it cost a lot of money to fly everybody over. Okay, that's true. Okay, that's the operating cost, $500,000. All right, we can cut that production cost. Production cut, venue cost, venue basically gone. That's gone. Prize money, raise that prize money. Take all that money from the venue, put it to the prize money. Easy, problem solved. There we go. I solved all your problems, guys. Solved all your problems. And man, if you want to save even more money, take it to Texas. Go to Texas. Go to Florida. Take us to Silver Spurs Arena. We'll go to Silver Spurs Arena. Go to Miami. Go somewhere else. You pick Vegas. I understand you got Masters Worlds over there. Okay. Masters Worlds, you guys want to get some of those guys, but, you know, I don't know. Daniels emphasized that ADCC Worlds is by far the most attended, most watched, and greatest grappling event in the world, despite never making a profit on a world championship. I mean, it didn't start off to make a profit. It's basically a passion project. It's a Saudi. It's like a sheik. Sheiks are sponsoring this stuff, guys. It was their play money anyway. They're playing with this money. It's truly mind-boggling to me to how ignorant how some people are assuming this event is making millions. Do the math. Well, you guys spent millions. Where did the money come from if you guys spending all that money? We have never made $1 on a world championship. Athletes also make money on their sponsorships, video sales, seminars, super fights after, and everything else they gain from ADCC exposure. Daniels concluded with a challenge to those criticizing the event's financial management. If you think you can do better, go raise $2 million. All right, well, hindsight. If you think you could do better, go raise $2 million just to pay for T-Mobile Arena, not to mention all the other costs, and do it yourself. And what did Craig Jones do? He did all that. He's doing another one. So yeah, you know, it's easy to look back and be like, dang, we messed up. He messed up. I didn't mess up. He messed up. The feud between Seth Daniels and Craig Jones has brought to light critical issues within the grappling community, from the financial sustainability of major events to the fair compensation of athletes. As the dust settles, the community watches closely, awaiting the next move of these influential figures and the potential long-term impact on the sport's future. So, I mean, a lot of things have changed, and, again, Seth Daniels did apologize for the death threats he sent to Craig Jones, but we couldn't play the audio for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why. Wasn't playing. So moving on, we got Fabricio Andre talks about PED use in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There has to be control. Fabricio Andre, I mean, you look like a bodybuilder, bro. Should you be talking? Shout out to Fabricio. He's training out of Alliance Sao Paulo, I believe, or Rio. Which one? I believe Sao Paulo. I could be wrong. No, he's at one Alliance school. Fabricio Andre isn't afraid to speak about topics that in grappling that many in the grappling world avoid, including performance enhancing medications. In a recent appearance, he offered unfiltered thoughts on doping in the sport. My sincere opinion about performance enhancers, I think there has to be control, but it's something that people can fool the test. People can, the Olympic people can. While he supports anti-doping measures in theory, Andre criticized how testing is often carried out. In his view, scheduled testing misses the mark. You want to get there, but you don't want to inform the athletes in advance. You don't want to just go, I'll test you on 25th of May. Yeah, that's the day. He admits to suspecting certain opponents of being enhanced, particularly when the strength gap was too obvious to ignore. Have you ever fought with someone who you felt suspicious about and said, dang, what's going on? I'm sure people saying that about you, Fabricio, bro. He said he just diets and exercises, guys. While he supports anti-doping measures, he criticized how testing is often carried out. In his view, I saw that part. Read that part. Regardless of what others might be doing, Andre says he's never touched PEDs himself, though he acknowledges that the physical demands of competing at the top are brutal either way. High performance is not healthy, man. So he just did an interview recently. Unfortunately, I believe it's in Portuguese, so I can't translate it for you guys. How do you guys feel about Fabricio Andre, guys? I mean, he looked like a bodybuilder to me. He got some more stuff to say. So for you guys that didn't know, he trained with under Mika Gaval's father. So he talks about why he left Mika Gaval team. It's about respect. Fabricio Andre has never shied away from the big moves on or off the mats. In a recent interview, he finally addressed one of the more surprising decisions of his career, his departure from Mika Gaval's team. At the time, the split raised eyebrows. Andre wasn't just another name on the roster. Alongside Diogo Reis, Baby Shark, and Mika Gaval, he helped elevate the team's profile on the global stage. And when all three left at once nearly 2 years ago, there were all kinds of speculations. For a time, the reasons behind the exit remained unclear. There was no viable or visible drama, and both sides offered mutual respect. Now Andre is offering some personal insight. I felt like I wasn't being valued the way I deserved it. I think it's about respect. Importantly, Andre emphasized that the decision had nothing to do with the quality of training. Gaval, who continues to produce elite champions, including multiple ADCC 2024 gold medalists, remains one of the sport's most respected coaches. Andre gave him full credit where it's due. There was always good training. Melky, was very important. He helped me a lot. I grew up a lot under his tutelage. And despite leaving the team, there's no bitterness. Andre was clear that relationship remained intact, even when sharing space again at major events like ADCC 2024. I complimented him. He just fought with Diogo Reis. I complimented him. He hugged me. Did he just fought? I don't know. That translation was very accurate. So yeah, again, I believe he's at Alliance, and I think Diogo and Mika are still together, I believe. Shout out to Ty. He had his MMA debut and he wants to be 100% by the end of the year. I thought didn't he just fight? Oh no, he fought. He did a grappling event versus what's the kid's name? Can somebody remind me the kid's name? He's like from the Midwest. Shoot, really strong. Used to powerlift. I'm sure they'll say his name. Tyrulo has hinted at a move to MMA, and now it looks like 2025 is the year it finally happens. The 22-year-old submission grappling phenom expects to make his professional MMA debut later this year, potentially against rising star Adrian the Phenom Lee. Hopefully it goes well. Yes, 100%. I will be here scrapping in MMA by the end of the year, guaranteed. I know someone was sending the Adrian Lee match out. I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about that or not, but it sounds sick. I'm down for it. First though, Rutulo will defend his one welterweight submission grappling world title this Friday at one, which he just won basically against Dante Leon. I cannot play any one championship stuff. They don't like it. A win there would only strengthen his position as one of the sport's top pound-for-pound athletes and set the stage for his MMA debut. Whoever they want to send my way, I'm ready for the debut match. I'm just excited to get into the ring. I've seen my brother do 3 MMA fights now, and each time I was just chomping at the bit. I just wanted to get in there with him. You want to fight your brother, or you want to fight like your brother? As for the weight class, Rutulo plans to drop to 170 pounds for MMA, even though he currently competes in the 185-pound division for grappling. Yeah, lightweight for MMA, 170 pounds. That's where I'll be fighting MMA. Welterweight 185 is a little bit heavy for me. I can make 170 for sure. The only reason that I don't is because Cade is there. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool if they end up fighting each other. Get their little place. I'm saying little place, and looks like in Costa Rica. So that's where all their one championship money goes, guys. They got a little compound there. Nice pool. Who's over there with them? That's the guy, Bear from Show You Roll. AJ Agazarm. Looks like they're in Japan. Quan says, I hope he does UFC Contender Series or something like that. One championship doesn't have enough MMA competition. Well, they just had the one dude that just came over from one that just beat Bo Nickel, so they got some good people. Quan, Quan bias, bro. You love the Contender Series. I think the Rutulos could go straight into I think the better move for them would be to do the UFC Fight Pass, go win the championship there, and then make their MMA debut with the UFC, their UFC debut that way, because they're gonna make more money if they honestly make more money doing UFC Fight Pass probably than most fighters would do having an MMA fight, and then use that to kind of springboard themselves into the MMA. Let people learn who you are again. They built their name in Asia, and then build your name in the UFC Fight Pass grappling, and then boom, jump right over to the UFC. So I think if they're smart, they can kind of bypass all that because they're huge names. Get a couple fights in one championship, jump over, pull a Mikey, pull a Mikey. I can't remember when the last time there was a big MMA fight in one championship. They got some big fights. Quan, you biased, bro. One got some good fights, bro. Especially the Muay Thai fights. But you say MMA? Honestly, I think the last big fight I saw was with Cade. Cade, he's a good draw. I can't name anybody off the top of my head. There must be a reason. Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, you build your name up in one, pad that record in one championship, and then pull a Mikey, go jump over the UFC Fight Pass, get that money real fast, and then jump to the UFC. You might even make it on the main card on a UFC. So I feel like Contender Series is great when you got to build yourself up, but I think the marketing arm of the Rutulos they can do a lot. He went against a no-namer. I mean, he's no name to us, but maybe he was known in Asia. I don't remember the guy. Quantity bias, bro. You know them fights that won be pretty good, bro. Bro, I can't name most people in the UFC. I don't know most people in the UFC. And man, those $50,000 bonus, collect all those $50,000 bonuses, bro. You gotta get fight of the night to get that $50,000 bonus in the UFC. So collect as much money grappling as you can, guys, and then move over to MMA. Moving on, we got Craig Jones announces that Greg Saunders will be I never say his name right. Will be American Misfits coach at CJI2. So some of this is marketing, some of this is marketing, but it works. The next Craig Jones Invitational, CJI2, will just got more intriguing with the appointment of Greg Saunders as head coach of the American Misfits team. Saunders, the founder of Standard Jiu-Jitsu, was introduced during the debut episode on Borrowed Time with Craig Jones, where host Alex Wendling, shout out to Alex, spoke with both Jones and Saunders about the vision for the team and upcoming event. Here's what Saunders had to say. Quan says, I used to be a big One Championship fan, but they have not been having MMA fights recently. They're focusing more on MMA recently. I mean, that's where their talent is, They got the talent. They got that MMA locked down. They got some of the access to the best MMA fighters. I mean, Muay Thai fighters, sorry. They got access to the best Muay Thai fighters. And they got some okay MMA fighters. I mean, eventually all the jiu-jitsu guys be losing eventually over there. You got Gary Tonin, you got Yuri Samoz, you got Buchecha, a few other people. I mean, UFC definitely got the better MMA, but one got the better Muay Thai and striking kickboxing. It feels great. We made a lot of noise in the last couple years as a team. Did they? I think more so recently. And getting the invite to coach a bunch of guys that I've never coached before. You're going to have them all doing ecological. So I can see this going two ways. Either the ecological bros do well or the ecological bros don't do well and we forget about everybody. It's an exciting prospect and I'm looking forward to the opportunity. Known for his success with his home academy, Saunders acknowledged that his selection might ruffle feathers across the community. I think it's going to be mixed. I think a lot of people will be angry, but a lot of people will be happy. I think everybody will be interested regardless. I mean, jiu-jitsu people just want entertainment. Good or bad, they just want to be entertained. CJI2 will feature a twist on the traditional quintet format, blending tag team dynamics with live coaching strategy. So we have seen a tag team format. There was one based in Florida, I believe, with like Lucas Hosha, Achilles Hosha, not Lucas Hosha, Achilles Hosha, and some other guys. It seemed to be okay. With live coaching strategy, coaches won't just choose the initial order of fights; they'll decide matchups on the fly, reacting in real time to the other team's picks, as explained by Craig Jones. So it kind of reminds me of F1 a little bit. You know how the F1, of course, the racers are in the cockpit, they're driving, but they're getting information and feedback from the I don't think they have coaches, but the staff, the F1 staff, the racing staff, they're getting updates. They're getting, take this corner at this degree next time, or you need to change lanes. You need to blah, blah, blah. So, that real time feedback can help. The coach is going to be important. Well, the Saunders coach, or is he ecological? I thought you were supposed to figure it out on your own. It says the coach is going to be important. Where it's going to come into play is that you're going to see how coaches think people match up against each other. Alrighty. Saunders is already thinking tactically. I would focus on three things. First, athletes I have, and knowing what their capabilities are historically. Second would be the same thing on the other team. So who are we facing? What are the skills of the other people as we decide who's going to go with who? I mean, that's standard. And finally, standard jiu-jitsu. And finally, I think the opinions of the athletes themselves, knowing which one of our guys would like to fight which one of them. So we'll see, That's the most important thing, is that we can see the results and what happens. If say it fails, they'll change the format for CGI 3. If anything, I think it's a breath of fresh air just having a different take on the competition format. ADCC is still exciting, but you kind of know what to expect. But CJI is kind of new. You're like, oh, what's going to happen? I want to see what's going to, how it's going to work, or if it implodes, or if it blows up. And then I think also the YouTube angle. So because CJI was on YouTube, it was more accessible versus, I like Flow Grappling. Flow Grappling, we cool, but, there is a gate there. So unless you have a membership, you couldn't watch the matches, or you had to go the legal streaming route. But with YouTube, you just, everybody's got YouTube. I'll just, let me check in on CJI real quick. Oh, cool. Awesome. You could just check really easily. You could message, so you could interact with the event. You could message, you could talk on the chat. You could donate money if you liked something. It was more interactive versus ADCC. You're just a spectator, but CJI, I felt like we were interacting with the event. I'm not gonna stay on too long, guys, but we've got a few stories. So some interesting Reddit post I saw says, I worked as a scorekeeper at a large BJJ event yesterday. In a number of matches, the coaches overcoaching their competitors to losses. So that's also something, some coaches don't coach enough, and some coaches overcoach. So you got to find the right balance. Poster says, I worked as a scorekeeper at a large BJJ tournament. A few things I noticed from coaches overcoaching. Competitor is up 5-4 with 30 seconds left and has top side control. Coach tells them to advance to mount rather than stay tight and ride out the round. Competitor then gets reversed and half guard pass to lose 7-5 in closing seconds. This is one of the few times I saw this happen. The rule book says the minimum break time is 1 match length. So the competitor could have a match, rest 1 match, and be asked to go the next match, which is a break of to 5 to 6 minutes, depending on your belt rank, I think. One of my old coaches told me to view tournaments like long Street Fighter video games, where you have to view your tournament as one long power bar and to take that into consideration in the early rounds. I saw guys up comfortably like 10-2 in their first round match continually push the pace, with their coaches pushing them to do so and gas themselves out for their second match and lose. Dads coaching their kids very aggressively and making the kids scared to make mistakes and making them more anxious and tense. My feelings based on the coaching and advice was that the dads were at best blue belts and likely never competed themselves. To me, kids' competition is about development and testing themselves more than wins and losses. Felt like these parents took the fun away. So a lot to unpack. I'm not even gonna look at the comments, but I think you got to know when to slow down. So that kind of covers a few things, but especially when you're up and there's no time left in your match. Okay, you need to kind of shut things down. And at least in IBJJF, it's really hard to score in that 30-second range, because by the time you solidify your position or your sweep or something, it's like the match is up, and then they give you the advantage, and you're like, oh man, I did all that for nothing. So you need to, in your match, you need to be up before that last minute. That last minute, that's kind of like, all right, it's kind of said and done. You just kind of waiting for the round to end. And I'll let you know, the best guys, they know how to finish the matches when they're up. 30 seconds left, they're up on points, advantage, they up on an advantage. They're not going to let that go. And we read it earlier, like I think they said Isaac Doderline, he won most of his matches by like 1 or 2 advantages. But when the skill level is so close together, that's how you win, Unless you're just way better than everybody else, it's going to come down to those 1 or 2 points and 1 or 2 advantages or penalties. Even with Tynan, Tynan's amazing, but he had a tough match. I don't know the exact score. Can we see the score versus Big Breakfast? Let's see. We got it over here. Middleweight. Elijah Dorsey got Tariq. And then, Elijah Dorsey he was submitting people. Actually, never mind. He did win on points. He beat Elijah Dorsey 6-0, but it looked closer in the highlights. But let's look at another match. Okay, look at Rosinski's match right here. Can you guys see? Adam Rosinski defeated Leonardo Ferreira via 0-0 advantages and then 1-0 advantages. I don't know what that means. 1-0. He had 1 advantage point difference. So that's the difference between you winning and losing, is that advantage point. Sometimes, So you gotta be strategic. In the gi, I feel like you gotta be like way more strategic. No gi, you can kind of fool around a little bit more. Number 2, usually you get your match time. So say you have a 7-minute match, you get 7 minutes break. So again, obviously you just gotta fight. I think at least at black belt, you just gotta fight and then try to recover in that break time. So usually we get 10 minutes for break. So I don't suggest anybody hold back at black belt. You just gotta scrap the whole time and then try to recover. And you get used to. That's what your training's for. Your training readies you for that kind of situation. If you say you're doing multiple 10-minute rounds in training every day, obviously you don't recover in between your rolls, right? You just keep going. So you got to build your base level of endurance through training. You got to actually train. And then the third one, coaches can also. I always say you got to fight. You got to fight your opponent. You got to fight the referee. You got to fight their coach. Sometimes you got to fight your coach. Your coach is giving you terrible advice. And then lastly, sometimes you got to fight yourself. So there's about 5 different people you got to fight in one match. So if you're a coach, try to keep your athletes calm or maybe not calm, but keep them more relaxed and anxious. Okay. Don't make them nervous. Don't hype up the opponent. Don't be like, yo, that dude's a world champion. Did you know that? He just won by armbar, flying armbar. Don't hype up the opponent. Don't stress your athlete out. When you're the coach, you're trying to. You need some water? Here you go. You need what do you need? You need a protein bar? Let me grab that for you. You got it. Your belt's good? Okay. You need another gi? Okay. You just try to take care of everything. And say you like your lower belt or you don't know how to coach. That's fine. Here's what you're gonna do. When the match starts, either you can, just you filming their match can help them. You film the match, or something you could do. Tell them the time. 3 minutes. You don't have to just say what the time is. You don't have to give any type of feedback. Just give them the time. You can also give them the score. They got 2 points for that. You're down by 1. You got a penalty. Okay, so you don't even need to give detailed instruction. You could just be there for support. What's up, Jason? Jason says AOJ athletes are really good at fight strategy. Cole wins a lot of his fights by pointer advantages. And some of that's good and bad. Some of that, actually, Dan Lucart said that Cole was really bad. His strategy with guard pulling was not good. Dan Lucart be going in on Cole. I think they have more strategy than the average coaches, but there are some oversights they have. They're really good technically. Okay, we're gonna get past this De La Riva. Okay, blah blah blah. But some of the issues, for instance, Cole had a lot of issues with guard pulling. He's pulling guard with one knee down, and he was just messing up some of the rules. I think a lot of that's just the skill. I don't think So when I say win by advantage, sometimes that's all we can get. So the skill is holding that advantage, is not getting that advantage. Like, that's being technical. Technical is like, okay, I almost got the pass. Okay, I didn't get it, but I got an advantage point. Strategy to me is holding on to those advantages, knowing the penalties, knowing when to act, when to slow down. That's the strategy. I think Cole. What was the score versus Isaac? He's getting better at strategy. I think Dan Lucart said that Eric Muniz is the most strategic fighter. He said that was the most strategic fighter. I think Isaac was pretty strategic. Where is it at? Featherweight. So he actually Cole did really good. He had a really good score against Diego Soldry. That was that deep De La Hiva sweep. Isaac had it close. It was 4 advantages to 2. Okay, it was pretty close. And then in his semifinals, it was 1 advantage point. And then Cole had another sweep, or I believe it was sweep or takedown, 2-0. And then in the final, it was 2-2, 1 advantage point. So yeah, I need to watch the match. I'm assuming it was strategy that got Cole to win. And I mean, it was. Yeah, I mean, Cole's good. Danny says, one of my coaches would try to remind me that the person I was grappling at the time was a top grappler. He was. Like, that was going to help. Fortunately, even though I lost, I didn't let it psych me out. The thing is, it didn't help you one bit. So maybe somewhere, what's that word? Not unconsciously, subconsciously, maybe it did affect you. So if your coach had just shut up, you probably would have done better, right? Danny Chapa says, just annoying that coaches don't give good advice and just remind you of your opponent's accolades. In that case, you just need to shut up when you're the coach. Sometimes as a coach, as an athlete, you need to know when to push and when to kind of slow down. As a coach, you need to know when to talk and when to shut up. You know, sometimes the athletes focus. He's in the zone. They're in the zone. She's in the zone. They got the music on. All right, bro, just let them relax a little bit. You listen out for their name to get called. You know, leave them alone a little bit. Yeah, some coaches do too much, and some coaches don't do enough. So yeah, we're definitely gonna watch that Cole versus Isaac match. That was a really good match. I didn't actually see the match, but I think Isaac, I don't know. I got to see the match to see what happened, but it was 1 advantage. So, you know, if it's 1 advantage, guys, that means anything could have happened. Anything could have happened. You know, when it's 6-0, that means, like, you know, Elijah Dorsey versus Tynan. That means not too much was going to happen. Moving on. Again, we said Greg Saunders is CGI Misfits coach. I don't think they're going to let me coach, guys. They ain't going to have me on there. Ecological. He ecologicaled his way all the way to running his own CGI team, basically. Talk enough smack and opportunities like this emerge. So hopefully he does well. You know, either he gets exposed or he does well. So we'll see. I mean, you guys gonna love him regardless of what happens. Sounds good. I'm interested to see how the only BJJ coach that knows how to run a practice and read the science does when he's up against other coaches that are doing it wrong and wasting 50% of class time. We'll see. I mean, he's still got to deal with the athletes. I mean, it's not like he's out there grappling. He's got to put the athletes that he's working with to the best use. Remember, our sport our sport is a bunch of white, blue, and purple belts, recently divorced guys trying to get back in shape on performance enhancers, fighting to the death. Yeah, basically. Greg Saunders is an excellent guy at teaching and terrible person at teaching people how to teach. I mean, figure it out yourself is probably just as helpful as the usual. You got to get there. You got to get out there. That most coaches do. His mat side advice is genuinely the best I've ever heard. Listen to the most recent DeAndre tournament run where he won 100K. Adjust. Yeah, I didn't actually see that match either. I don't really know the guys behind what's that? Zapatero, so I don't want to react to their videos if I don't really know them too well. Do they really need a coach, or can they just play constraint-based games within the rule sets? Yeah. Our sport, yeah, basically. Did Craig Jones or anyone else involved explain why there is a single team for the Americas, and not a separate North and South American team, since both would pretty easily be able to be top contenders? I think a combo of a lot of the top guys are already going to be in individual teams that are already represented and are wild cards. You got to draw the line somewhere. It could totally include more teams, but I also think one of the valid criticisms of CJI2 was that it was a host. There was just too much going on for one event. CGI cut it down to something that's a little more manageable from a viewer perspective. You think doing a quintet is going to be more it's going to be more manageable? You're adding more people. That's going to add more complexity. That way you can secure big names. You can't really add one team in the format. You need at least 2 more unless you want buys. And if you want it to make it fair, you need 8 more teams. So my issue with CJI is that it's newer, which is cool, but then like there's always going to be some bugs to work out, right? Whereas they had a good format for CJI 1. Everybody kind of understood it. So now they're going to have to spend time trying to explain all the rules and the team format and all this other stuff. They're going to have to spend more time explaining, what is that called? Prologue? Was that the prologue when you watch a movie? They got to explain everything. And then there's more bodies, there's going to be more management. There's just more points, I don't want to say conflict, but more issues with more people. But we'll see, obviously Craig is, is really good at this stuff, so we'll see what happens. I know you guys are going to be watching CJI. Adam Rosinski versus tripod passing. I thought this was interesting. So we'll see what we'll see what these guys got to say about Adam Rosinski. Says I've been trying to figure out why no one is succeeding in passing Adam's half butterfly guard with a tripod pass like Joseph Chin, Craig Jones, and Paul Schreiner do. I'm sure he's doing something to prevent being flattened out and recovering when he does. Rosinski's huge, right? How are you gonna tripod pass on Rosinski, bro? You going for a ride, bro? You guys think Rosinski's small? Bro, listen, those big dudes can just be like, all right, I'm not using no more technique. Flip you. He's saying, I'm sure he's doing something to prevent being flattened out and or recovering when he does. I can't figure it out from watching his matches. Anyone else have any insights? Well, he's not letting them force the tripod. He's forcing the butterfly sweep. So I don't think tripod passing works on really good butterfly guard players. Think about someone like Marcelo Garcia. Like, I like Joseph Chin, but there's no way in the world he gonna tripod pass Marcelo Garcia, bro. Because any shift in his center of gravity, he's gonna get swept over, or he's gonna get in X guard or something. There's levels to this, bro. There's levels to this. I've been emulating most of his game for the past 9 months, and it's working really well for me. But getting flattened out is something still a problem against good guys. I don't ever see Rosinski flattened out. Maybe in half guard, but not in butterfly guard. One person says, Adam dominates opponent's left arm completely with his right sleeve grip. Is that the side okay, he sweeps to the right side. Absolutely, but for me, that hasn't stopped the tripod pass. If they can flatten me out, they don't flatten him out. They don't flatten him out. People on Reddit, bro. I worry about the people on Reddit. I feel like it's always some older dude that is out of shape and he's like, it's not working. If they can flatten me out, especially if I have an overhook grip on the belt, giving them the underhook, they still pass me using tripod style pat. Where's your butterfly guard at, bro? You gotta sweep them before then. To be honest, I think it's hard to pass a butterfly specialist using tripod pass. I just said that, right? Joseph has also successfully used the pass, forcing a butterfly scenario against someone who does not have an elite butterfly guard. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to make the butterfly guard that good, But this is one big issue I'm running up against and haven't figured out the answer yet. I mean, we don't know what your body type is, your age, we don't know nothing about this dude. He could be 5 foot and trying to butterfly guard sweep everybody. You mentioned using an overhook on a belt. Why don't you use a tight waist grip? Actually, I like the overhook grip a little bit better. People on Reddit, bro, they don't know no jiu-jitsu, bro. I'm sorry. If you're on Reddit, bro, I question if you know jiu-jitsu. Using an underhook from the bottom allows the passer more freedom to put his head and shoulders in the best spot to pass. Using an overhook grip on the belt from the bottom, especially when you grip the belt on the cross hip, allows the bottom man to use the overhook over the back arm bicep area to block the passer's shoulders and advancing too far north on the bottom man's chest. Well, you should be able to play both, but I feel like overhook's a little bit easier. Adam is deceptively big. It's hard to pass people who are really good at butterfly and have numerous transitions with tripod. He's very tall, that helps. He has a unique way of forcing people to their knees. See the BJJ Scout videos. Doesn't let them pin both shoulders to the mat. Paul Schreiner has the best butterfly passing instructional, and it's worth watching this to really understand how people are shutting you down. Because Adam doesn't let someone pin his upper body first. Joseph also barely does any tripoding. He mostly forces half butterfly with an upper body grip already in place. He rarely manages to straight up tripod pass people. He is not a great instructor, so it can be easy to miss what he actually does. I don't know. Is Joseph a good instructor? I mean, he's so super young. That doesn't mean you're not a good instructor. I think he's a very intelligent grappler. I honestly don't know if he's a good instructor or not. I mean, I don't know if I'm a good instructor. I mean, how do you rate if someone's a good instructor outside of, their ability to produce talented students? That's like one measure. I would say the ease of learning the instruction. So how easy it is for you to learn what they're teaching. In which case, I think Joseph might be a little bit more verbose than what I would think good instructors use. But I think that's just influence from like Danaher and other guys. I see Jason says, I wonder how hard it is passing with tripod gi versus no gi. It seems like it happens more in no gi. Yeah, it might be more of a no gi centric thing. The only person I know that has a really good tripod in the gi is good old Hodger Gracie, because he's so tall. In the gi, yeah, I feel like they're gonna be able to offset you. And I kind of came up, going against guys like Adam. What was that guy? Alex Monslav. He's like kind of the same generation as Ted today, but bro, people like the Brazilians back then would launch you. Can we find a video of Alex Monslav? We got your boy Adam Brzezinski over there, but we're gonna look for another. Shoot, nothing's ever up when I need it. I don't think we have a video of Alex Monslav. Shoot, YouTube. He's an old school guy. Yeah, I don't really tripod pass in the gi. Oh, yo, they just updated it. We'll watch this video then. Yo, we got that. So we can watch it since Flow Grappling put it up. Monslav BJJ. Let's see if they have it. I don't see him. That's him, but I don't see his Yo, they had some really good butterfly guard players back in the day, bro. Excuse the quality, guys. Pretty bad. But he was super good. He's like Rosinski before Rosinski. But, bro, they would just launch you, bro. That's Alex in the white gi. Hook sweep to the back almost. Oh, armbar. Yeah, nice. But man, he would do this sweep where he would, from butterfly guard, square butterfly guard, launch you into the air, and then go feet to hips, and then kick you over, and then your back would just get exploded. I don't think they have any matches of him doing this butterfly guard. But he was really good. Let's watch this Tiny versus Elijah. I'm going to turn the volume down, though. Guard pull by Tynan. So Elijah going right into the passing. So that was good. I never seen Tynan scramble this much. He was scrambling that day. So he's in the backside position. Pulls into the X, single leg X. Looking for both pants. And he's able to, let's rewind now. He's able to pull himself into this like reverse waiter. Or it's a waiter sweep, but it's kind of different. Because the leg's on the inside there. So it gets to like this waiter X. Usually they can just pop out the back. Tynan wanted nothing to do on top. But Elijah's doing really good. Little crazy dog passing. Go to the outside. You don't sit there. Don't sit there. Don't sit there. Don't sit there. You should have kept going to the other side. So I feel like for Big Breakfast to win, you just got to keep pushing. I mean, it's the finals. You don't need to conserve your energy anymore. You just go for it. So Tynan's keeping this pant grip. Obviously, guys, his grips are strong. Let's see, he's able to get back to single leg X. Calma. So Dorsey's doing okay. Those mats also look slippery, so I think it's hard to kind of get your footing. So he slips out. I probably turned my leg doing that. My knee would have gotten torn. Now he's in an overhook position, so he can go for the ankle lock here. He can push and kick for like an X guard, kind of technical stand sit up. If he can get the sleeve. So Tynan's really good. He's really good at controlling that inside space. Obviously, he's flexible and strong, so. Single leg X. He learned that from Lucas. Oh. Kicking through the middle. Nice, Dorsey. Now he's got this collar and pant grip. He switches off of there. So he just keeps inverting, I think. He'll, almost like a matrix kind of situation. He goes cross sleeve. They're going to restart him back. So you can hear Guy Mendez. He's not really yelling at Tynan. He'll just add some details. So I'm trying to figure out when Tynan scored all those points. So Elijah's doing a good job pressuring in. I don't think pressure is the right way to pass on Tynan. I think he needs to use his speed. Calma. He's playing De La Riva to the right side. Right leg. Nice Big Breakfast. So he's kind of like slows down and then pressures in. He's got to watch out for this kind of Ah, no. You gotta watch out for that arm drag from there. Tynan looks a little off, huh? I mean, obviously he ends up winning, but doesn't he look a little bit more flustered than normal? Maybe that's just me. Obviously he does win 6-0, so he does eventually start scoring. So you see how he gets to this position here? Basically like a matrix kind of K-guard position, essentially. Genova again. So he's gonna try to push him away. Maybe force the single leg X on the other side. Pulls it closed. So I kind of want to see this run back for the World Championships. Maybe we can see both guys doing the Worlds. Now he's using a little bit of lapel guard. Salby, so sweep. So again to the X. Nice. Right there, Dorsey. That was your time to go, Dorsey. You got to go, Dorsey. You got to go, Dorsey. Ah. If I was the coach, I would, all right, bro. Got to go. 5 minutes, that's the perfect time to start pushing. You're not going to gas out in 5 minutes, bro. I think Elijah was a little too conservative. You know, if you want to beat the champ, you gotta take it to the champ. So he's giving his backside position. That was not good. And he's letting his cross sleeve. I'm really careful with this cross sleeve position. I don't like giving that up. Nice. You got pressure now, bro. Let's go. Come on, let's go. You gotta push through here, man. It's just like this is where you win the tournament. 4 minutes. You just gotta push. I know it's obviously Tynan is tough. Well, that's the athlete's job. The athlete's job is to push through. And you gotta coax the athlete. It's like the race jockey. You know, the race jockey's back there. You gotta come on, let's go. So here, that was really nice. I'm knocking the camera. So I think this is where the match kind of goes downhill. I'm watching it for the first time, but so he lets Tynan kind of kick under, and then trap that leg for the Ashi, the 411. So he did kind of mess up there. I'm trying to see how he messed up there. Well, look. What was Dorsey doing? He was static, right? That's when he got caught. If he kept moving, that would not have happened. Yeah, he let Tynan get in on his legs. That's an important lesson for me. Doing ADCC. Calm. There, he's able to come on top for a sweep, so that's 2 points. Less than 4 minutes left. So almost sweep. So I don't think Big Breakfast wants to stay on bottom. I wouldn't want to stay on bottom. Because Tynan is passing so good. And also, man, they've been fighting all day. You know, this is the biggest tournament. They said there was 8,000 people there. Technically, Dorsey is still grounded. Is he grounded? He's still grounded. So this would be strategy, you know. So he comes up. So now they're both neutral. Now Tynan can pull. Oh, that was nice little passing attempt. Go. He should have done that earlier. Pega, go. He's going for the toy bar, but loses it. Spin through. He's gonna lock the 50-50 maybe. So try to stay out of 50-50 if you're fighting any AOJ guys. For the life of you. I believe Dorsey got an advantage. But with 2 minutes left, and he's locked down in the 50-50, it's kind of tough. Somebody said the AOJ had good strategy, but there's been a few cases we can find where the strategy wasn't really good. So the coach is kind of using this time, the lull in the match to just dragging these guys. Using that time to kind of okay, 2 minutes, those. All right, so things aren't looking good here. 2 minutes with down, and there's really no way for Elijah to score the 2 points. Like, I don't see how he could score the 2 points to tie it up, well, or to take the match. Because Tynan's down, all he's got to do is chill. You don't need to push. So that's where the strategy is. The strategy is that Tynan is up, and he's in a position where it's hard for Elijah to escape. You know, if anything, he's gonna have to give up a sweep and go on bottom. So it'll be 4-0. And then the time's already winding down. There's no time to really move. The match is kind of set. So that's what I mean by strategy, guys. Maybe threaten a knee bar. There's no knee bar there. So all he's got to do, he's already up. I mean, Big Breakfast would need to pass. He would need to escape the 50-50 and get a guard pass or something to even have a chance of winning this match. You know, maybe he could do a back take. So Big Breakfast goes for a toe hold, but he gives up a sweep, so it goes to 4-0. No advantage point. He's able to use that to kind of escape. Tynan gets an advantage for that. Oh, that 2 points should have gone away. That shouldn't have been 4. That should not have been 4. That should not have been 4. Wait a second. That should not have been 4. You need to control the sweep. Did he control the sweep? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, that was not a sweep. So no, that's 2. Tiny goes to pull. Big Breakfast times it. Boom! Almost goes to mount, which is amazing. Tynan forced to get half guard. And Big Breakfast, that was your time to go, bro. How many times you guys seen Tynan in half guard? Bottom half guard. Big Breakfast should have pulled on that arm, bro. Should have broken that arm, bro. Okay, so that should have been 4. Once he escapes, it was not 6-0. They messed that score up. Well, he's in Brazil, so once he gets out, that should have been 4. They messed the score up. It should have been 4-0. Should have been 4-0. Is anybody saying? Of course, the Brazilians. You Brazilians love Tynan. Yeah, it should be 4-0. I gotta leave my comment on there. So yeah, when you go to Brazil, you gotta beat the Brazilians. You're not gonna win those. The only person that won over Brazilian with advantages was Rzazinski. That was a good match, man. So you see Nagi, you gotta bro, you gotta be strategic. You can't win unless you're strategic. That was great. We got Rzazinski. Let's watch Rzazinski versus Gregor Gracie. So he pulls into his butterfly hook. Belt grip. Where's tripod pass, guys? Where's the tripod pass at? I think the belt grip negates the tripod pass. And look, you can just push off the hips. He's controlling that left arm, belt grip. You ain't tripod passing now, guys. You going for a ride. Rzazinski's strong, guys, and he's big. Look at this. Whee! Up. He's gonna have you posted on your head. Armbar. Remember, triangle. Who's is Gregor Gracie? Is he Holmes Gracie's son? Whose son is he? Shout out to the Vadarossi brothers. They had a good matches, bro. They had some good matches, bro. He had some good sweeps. He beat like some really good guys. The Vadarossi brothers, they did good. They did really good, bro. Bo Nickel, did we have to fight? Let me close that. We almost done, guys. I'm tired. Let's see. Kit Dell announced for CGI 2, Australia Misfits trials. Is everybody a misfit? Australian BJJ veteran has been confirmed as a late addition to the Craig Jones Invitational 2 team. Misfits Australia trials. Stepping in with just 2 weeks' notice, Dell replaces top brown belt. Oh, so he's actually going into the team. He's replacing the top brown belt Josh Alsop and will now compete in a 2-day event for a coveted spot on the Lachlan Giles, the Giles Trials. The format is grueling. Day 1 kicks off with a pre-qualifier featuring 16 elite grapplers battling for a single entry into Day 2. I hope nobody gets injured trying out for the team. That's where things will really get serious. A round robin against 5 of the continent's top athletes, with only 2 of them earning official team invites, 1 under 99 kilograms and 1 over. Dell will have to run through 4 matches on the first day. 4 matches on the first day just to advance. No easy task, especially given the depth of talent. The pre-qualifier includes ADCC veteran Kenta. Why is he on there? Are they all fighting each other? Wait a second. Why are they there? What is going on? It's going to include ADCC veteran Kenta Iwamoto alongside ADCC trials medalist Anton Mineko and Tito Carly, all expected to be major threats. Should Dell survive that bracket, he'll face an even tougher lineup in the final round robin. The stage includes Declan Moody, Albi Orzabek, Roberto Frias, Bilal Etabari, and Kaya Rudolph. All formidable names. Still, if anyone has the experience to navigate that kind of challenge, it's Dell. A longtime presence on the international scene, he shared the mats with some of the sport's best. And although he took time away from competition to pursue other ventures, he's already shown he's back in form after a successful return earlier this year.
Unfortunately, we've had Josh Alsop had to pull out of the tournament, but we've got a new entry into the CJI trials, none other than Kit Dale.
All right, so you got Kit Dale, guys. We'll see. So me and Quan were talking about this, but it says Rainer de Ritter. I can't, bro. That's a rough name to say. Defeats world-class wrestler Bo Nickel. Doesn't matter. My jiu-jitsu is too good. Bo Nickel's elite wrestling pedigree may have dominated headlines ahead of UFC Des Moines, but when the two met in the co-main event, de Ritter, that's a rough name to say, bro, was determined to test every part of Nickel's game, including the part most feared. Rather than shy away from the clinch, de Ritter embraced it. He initiated grappling exchanges early, even hitting a slick reversal in the first round to end up on top, threatening submissions. As the fight wore on, he trapped Nickel in a similar position and began targeting the body with punishing knees in the second round. He is maybe a god of wrestling. No, he's not. But I think this goes for anything in life, especially in fighting. You should look at what you do good, what you do well. Don't be distracted by what anybody else brings to the table. It doesn't matter. My jiu-jitsu, my judo, my wrestling is so good. I can hang with anybody. It doesn't matter what they bring. Though he hadn't yet rewatched the fight, De Ridder reflected on what turned the tide, blending his trademark grappling with striking that clearly wore Nickel down. It wasn't too bad, right? I got him with some good shots. At a moment in the clinch, I was able to get a little bit of space, get his hips away a little bit with the whizzer. Then I got him with the knee in the first round. Second round, I ended up on top, but I was surprised with how well he did on bottom. It was not easy to get him right away. I wasn't able to posture right away because he moved pretty well. I was looking for the side control at a moment, but it wasn't there. I'm still Dutch somewhere deep inside. So Dutch, the Dutch are really good at striking. And I think Bo Nickel cut a lot of weight, guys.
This is going to be a weekend to remember. There's major fights all weekend long.
This kind of
I
after.
know you are not going to want to miss a single second. And while you're watching, don't surprise us. How cool I am and that I can connect with people. I have apparently failed to connect. But guys, there's legs to this Bo weighs 222 business. I had to cover this on ESPN today. Adam Felters, who has a grand total of 0 wrong takes. I have never caught Felters being wrong. Thinks it could be true. He's not sold on it, but he says, Chael, I don't think this is the troll job that you think. And I just said, well, Adam, from my perspective, there was an edit. From my perspective, when I watch it, there's Bo going to a scale and there's a cut, a real quick cut. And the cut shows you the number on the scale, but it never shows you Bo and the number in the same shot. And if it were real, there would be no edit, there would be no cut. Not to mention, it is filmed with a very uncommercial camera, which I predict to be an iPhone. And you guys film things with your iPhones. When have you ever put it through an edit? There'd be no reason to. Now, the cut is done so well, I'm not 100% sure it exists. There is room, ever so slight. See, I feel like I'm being pulled into something. I feel like, what a troll job, and it's an obvious troll job. But, and there is a but. There's something called a water load. This wasn't a thing when I was wrestling. Oh my goodness, the way we cut weight back then, oh my gosh. If I just knew what I knew now and could go back and tell my teammates how to get 10 pounds off, I would have made their lives so much better. But there's something called a water load where you will lose water. You will dehydrate by drinking water. Now you have to get to an excessive amount, as much as 3.5 gallons in one day. Very difficult to do, but it's a build. You'll start with 1 gallon a day for a few weeks, and then you'll go to 2 gallons, 4 or 5 days. You only have one day where you have to do 3.5. But I'm only sharing with you, when you put so much water in, your body will just give it up, right? Whether you urinate it out or you just sweat it out, your body thinks it's going to keep getting flooded with water, and it's got to make room. So it just starts giving up this water. Then when you stop drinking the water, you'll just drop like a stone. And I only share with you, 1 gallon, just so you understand, is 8 pounds. The milk jug, it's 8 pounds. So if you are in the process of water loading, how much of that is still with you? How much is that? And that could be a real amount. That could be 5 pounds. Very, very easily 5 pounds. You then have the fact that Bo did not strip. And what does add to the credibility of the video, aside from Bo's reaction, which is exactly the reaction a person would have. Maybe it turns out Bo's a great performer. But one thing that does add to it is he didn't strip. He knew it was heavy, he wanted to get a feel. There's a scale, let's get a look at it. And I'm not too married to it because I know that I'm water loading. It's kind of a fake weight anyway. I got a couple pounds of clothes on. Let's just get in and get a little bit of an idea. Well, all of a sudden, you got sweats and the jacket. Let's say 3 pounds of clothes. That's a little heavy. Let's just say 3 pounds. Let's say 5 pounds of a water load. And yeah, I'm rounding up a little bit. But all of a sudden, you've got an 8-pound swing. And all of a sudden, the guy that's 222 is 213. Now, that is massive on fight week. Massive. And I don't believe it. However, right, like, there's a tipping point. Why 222? I mean, Bo went so heavy that he made it unbelievable. If he's really going to all this work to dupe us,
I didn't subscribe.
why not 210? That would have blown your mind. He's got to lose 25 pounds in 3 days. That would have blown your mind. Why 222? And I'm only sharing, like, this thing is gaining some steam to some people do believe it. And as silly as it might be, it is believed by enough people that I'm reaching out to Bo. I'm going to ask him, hey, man, this is not accurate information, correct? And another thing, if you weigh 222, how'd you get there? I got asked that by a coach one time. It was on summer break. And Coach Chuck Kearney was on the phone. And I said, and I was always small for 197. I'd weigh about 188, 189. Perkins made me drink a bunch of water and get to 191 one time. I felt sick. I was way underweight. And I always thought it'd be an advantage, if I could get big enough, be all muscle, or maybe even cut down a little bit, like my rest, I'd feel better. So I told Chuck, I said, hey, when you see me, I'm going to weigh about 225. And I thought he'd be fired. Oh, wow, God, you've been working hard this summer. Wow. And it wasn't like that. I remember not only what he said, I remember the tone in which he said it. And he simply said the word how. But I said, when you see me, I'm going to weigh 225. And he goes, how? And I did not have an answer. I just am. I just lifted a lot. And you got to understand, I weighed about 190 when I told him this, and I was going to see him in about 2 weeks. But at that point, I was so naive, I thought I could gain 35 pounds of muscle in 2 weeks if I really buckled down and ate enough egg yolks. Like, there's these times in your life where you would bang them. I was a fool. 222 pounds on Bo. I can not quite relate to that, but that exact number puts him at 36 pounds overweight. I didn't have to do the math. And you want to know why I didn't have to do the math? Because I know the math. And you want to know why I know the math? Because I got a call to do a fight in 21 days, which meant 20 days till the weigh-in. And it was opposite Dan Miller, MGM Grand, and we were going to get a spot on TV. Open up the main card. Big opportunity for me.
That's where ADCC was.
So I say yes, and the very first thing I do, I'm driving. The very first thing I do, I go straight to the gym. I strip down, I get on the scale, and it was 222 pounds. I had to lose 36. In fact, if you want to know the exact number, it's 22.2. I was 36.2 pounds over. And it was the most difficult, physically trying thing of my life. And I had 20 days. I had 20 days, and it was the most physically trying
That's terrible.
event of my life. It still is to this day. I never had anything that topped it. I had 20 days. I told that story somewhere. That story got out. Dana White gave me $10,000 for making weight because he heard what I went through.
Only $10,000?
Brought me a check for $10,000 because he had read an article that Kevin Iole had posted that Chael has to lose 36.2 pounds to fill in on 20 days' notice against Miller and gets a main card spot. And as grateful as I was for that money, I must tell you, to look a gift horse in the mouth, I wish he would have told me. I wish he would have told me ahead of time, if you make weight, I'm going to give you that would have been the incentive a guy needed. My only thing to look forward to was getting locked in a cage with the IFL champion, at any rate. I digress, but 36 pounds on Bo Nickel in 3 days.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe is realistic. But Adam Felters and ESPN think it is possible.
Yo, Dana could have ponied up more than $10,000. I mean, $10,000, you got to win ADCC to get $10,000. You gotta beat Mika Galval. You gotta beat Baby Shark. You gotta beat everybody. You gotta beat Giancarlo. You gotta beat Kynan. You gotta beat Cyborg, Wagner Hosha. All those guys. You gotta beat Craig Jones to get $10,000. Dang. What are we doing, guys? That's basically it, guys. So this week I might do a little bit earlier. I got a tournament this weekend, so that's kind of where I'm geared towards. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. We covered a lot of stuff, all the Brasileiros basically. Jason says they had Bo as a huge favorite. The Riddler was a 2-division champ in 1FC. Yo, shout out to Rich Homie Quan. He said one didn't have no good fighters. That's no joke. Even though it wasn't the UFC, that's legit. Yeah, I mean, I didn't check out the UFC. Unfortunately, I can't react to any UFC fights that ever gonna happen, because they do not like you to repurpose their content. But great matches, I was thinking about this. I think that
Imanari has a lockdown.
No, I can't play one. I can't play one championship either. I think that, honestly, guys, I think that the gi is at a higher level than the no gi. Strategy and just depth of talent. I mean, Brasileiros had 8,000 people. We saw that on BJJ Heroes. As per usual, this was a massive event featuring nearly 8,000 athletes, 7,966 to be precise. I mean, we're not seeing those numbers in no-gi. And I think just the level of the fighters, man. Bro, every match is hard. Like, every match. ADCC's tough too. But just the bracketing, you're limited to the 16-man bracket at the ADCC. Okay, there's 16 people in your division. I believe 8 females in the women's. But when you do these other tournaments, there's really no limit, And some matches, some divisions, say blue belt or purple belt lightweight, you're going to have 100 people, 120 people, maybe more, 200 people. So I think I'm looking at the skill and the talent. I think the gi is, man, it's so high. Ooh, I mean, there's some really talented no gi competitors out there, but let's just think about IBJJF. You got all these, we call it the Grand Slam. You got the Brasileiros, you got Europeans, you got Pans, you got the World Championship. I mean, Jesus, bro, that's a lot of high level athletes. And ADCC is just one time a year, or once every 2 years, and then you got ADCC Opens. I mean, no-gi is more geared towards the select few professional grapplers, but I mean, I think the sheer numbers of the gi competitors is just insane. It's 8,000 people, guys. That's only gi. And man, you got some killers out there, bro. Homegirl, she won 166 straight matches for 4 years. She hadn't suffered a loss, and she beat the best women in the sport. I mean, I don't know anybody. I mean, maybe Gordon Ryan probably had a longer streak. But I mean, this girl, I mean, she not like Gordon Ryan. You look at Gordon Ryan, you're like, okay, I can kind of see how he's destroying everybody. But Gabrielle, she's just, she just works hard, I think. So I think that's it, guys. We'll keep on the stream this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday. I might chill. I might live stream the weigh-in because we weigh in on Friday, so maybe I'll do that. So that'll be probably a little bit later in the evening. Saturday, Sunday, I'm probably chilling, competing and chilling. So that's it, guys. Unless you got any news for me, if you got any stories you want me to share, send it to my Instagram. Okay, that's the best way to reach me. And that's it. I'm dipping. If you want to support the channel, check out our sponsors, Inverted Gear, which they were just on BJJ Mental Models. You guys can listen to them for free. Look, I'll show you how to find it, guys. Look, go over here to YouTube. BJJ Mental Models. Here you go, right here. Just uploaded episode 336, Growing Your Academy, featuring Hillary Witt and Nelson Puentes. You guys can check that out. for free. It's on YouTube, guys. Jason says 8,000 competitors, 8,000 in attendance. So everybody brought one person to watch their match. It's still 8,000 spectators. Man, did you see the event? Did you see? Bro, it was packed. I don't know where. I'm not sure exactly the center they were in, but it was packed. People sitting on the. Look, there's no room. There's no room. You squished in there, man. Look how packed it was, bro. I don't know how big the venue was, but it was packed. I mean, you guys know ADCC wasn't packed. I mean, obviously they charge a lot. You gotta pay a lot for the entry. But man, when you go to IBJJF, you gotta pay for the entry too. You gotta pay for parking and entry a lot of times. But man, that venue was packed. I'm trying to see where we can see how packed it was. Flow Sports, shout out to Flow. Okay, it wasn't packed right there. Everywhere else was packed up. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that venue, bro. Yeah, it's a little bit smaller than some of the ones we go to, but man, it's still packed. All right, guys, that's it. I'm done. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Again, I might be a little bit earlier, maybe 10:30 East Coast time. So, just doing that to help me have some time to do what I gotta do. So I'm gonna play myself out, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. And turning my camera off. All right, guys, see ya.